Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your Sunday night edition of the Toon Review and, of course, Newcastle United news. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. My name is Paul, and I am joined tonight by my esteemed colleagues, Billy Bob and, of course, Lady Sam. Stato has been out with friends this afternoon and is stuck in traffic, so he won't be able to make the show. However, a lot to go through on the show. We've got, we'll talk about all the Anthony Gordon latest, of course, which is picking up pace again. Apparently, Newcastle United interested in going back in for James Trafford, and we will have a look at all the latest news kicking around the club tonight. But we've also got the huge member giveaway, of course, for the Newcastle United shirt. And just to make sure that you know, it's there. There it is. That is the shirt you're going for. It is a double XL. Sadly, doesn't fit my big boned frame anymore, but it is a fantastic shirt, of course, and a lot of memories from that shirt, and of course signed by the legendary Terry McDermott and of course King Kev. So two very, very valuable signatures on the shirt themselves, and yeah, that is going to be one lucky member tonight who wins that. So if you're not a member, hit that join button underneath the three of us. Get signed up to membership. We'll do the draw in about 20 minutes. We'll do the hashtag in about 20 minutes time, and then you can all get entered into it. Please do subscribe if you're new as well. And don't forget to hit that notification bell, which will let you know when we upload any videos or schedule our lives. And you can super chat the channel, of course, by the $ at the bottom of the live comments, which will guarantee your comment to be read out on the show. We had a very early member joining us, John Ord, a good 2.5 hours before the show. So thank you, John, and thank you for your support moving forward. Right, good evening, my esteemed colleagues.
Good evening, everyone, and all those in Viewerland.
Hello.
And look, we may as well start off with the big story. And it's picking up traction now, isn't it? It really is. This Anthony Gordon saga, it's not going away. And of course, like we always say, it's in the news. So we, as a channel, we will talk about it because it's in the news. Whether it happens or not, we don't know. But listen, it's in the news, and we've got to talk about it because it's becoming a bit of a distraction now. And listen, I felt really sorry for Anthony Gordon yesterday. I mean, this is the picture which says it all for me. And that's that, you look where Anthony Gordon is on that picture and how sad he looks. He's just, I mean, it's mental, that, isn't it? I mean, it's a really, really sad photo, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, there was another picture of him on the bench looking similarly. Just doesn't look happy at all. Doesn't look wanted. There's no arm around his shoulder there, is there, by anybody? You think the squad would all be in together and united, but clearly it isn't. There's clearly outsiders within that squad. And that doesn't bode well for England in the rest of the tournament, if you ask me. I think it's poor form from the manager, poor form from the squad, actually.
Yeah, it is. And look, it's just, listen, this is the way Southgate goes. He obviously, for whatever reason, he doesn't fancy Gordon at the minute. But that was a sorry photo there, Sam, and it was a little sad to see.
Well, it's demoralising, isn't it? Because we are obviously biased, but we know he's talented. I think the majority of pundits as well, the non-biased ones, absolutely agree and have been calling out for him. That's definitely the area of weakness for this England squad. Anthony's not only got the pace moving forward, he's got the attacking press, he's able to get in the box, but also defensively intelligently minded as well, to track back as well, and not afraid to tackle. You know, the amount of fouls that he's managed to win. Like, why isn't he being played? So, you know, the excitement you saw in the interviews that he had, how proud he was to be selected, and having so little game time. Let's just hope some decisions are made that can change that moving forward, because I think he'll be a real game changer for us in terms of how we attack.
Absolutely. Martin Brophy, who's been a member for 9 months. Thank you, Martin. Says, good evening all. If money was no option, which player would you like to sign for the Toon and why? I mean, if money was no option, and I mean, that's big questions. Kubo. Peter Brooks, welcome to Members Club, and also Greg Stone. Thank you very much for signing up, guys. You will be able to enter the draw a bit later on in the show. And Chris Lynch, thank you for your super chat. Chris says, why is it that Southgate does not select Anthony Gordon? He was the perfect player for us the last 2 games. Yeah, it's crying out for Gordon, but he'd rather put Eze in that position, to be honest. But
it's not even just that. I mean, in all the game before the actual tournament, the only bright spark was Anthony Gordon.
Yeah.
And potentially even Tony played pretty well in one of the games also, but the rest of it
did.
From an attacking point of view, against Brazil, when he come on against Belgium, the only attacking threat came from Anthony Gordon.
Yeah,
it's madness. It really is
crazy. It is crazy. Craig Nesbitt, welcome to Members Club. Thank you for signing up. Much appreciated. Thank you for the support. Charlie Ridgely says, evening all. Please can we say good night to Logan? He's just off to bed. Good night, Logan.
Good night, Logan. Sweet dreams,
you should be turning around and saying, I'm not going to bed till 8 o'clock till the Toon Review finishes. But hey, I'm not your parent. There you go. Surely Logan can watch the Toon Review. Anyway, let's move away from the England scene, because of course it's club football that really the stories about Anthony Gordon are picking up pace now, and it's a little bit, I don't know whether it's worrying, but listen, it was the Chronicle that broke this story first, right, about Manchester City's interest, and apparently Manchester City are trying to offload Jack Grealish. So, I mean, Grealish cost them £100 million. So it says to me that, yeah, Man City will probably be willing to pay whatever Gordon's worth. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But the fact is, again, it's the Chronicle who seem to be trying to push big players out of Newcastle United with these constant clickbait reports. Now, I'm saying clickbait because they've done it all summer. They've been, about our big players, leaving the club and trying to cause a bit of stirring up of the cauldron, so to speak. But now it's all across the media, this interest. And it's not just Manchester City now. It's Liverpool still there. And Chelsea have entered the fray, strangely enough. And Billy, this is a real pain in the arse now, because other clubs maybe are looking at him. But again, I just don't get what the Chronicle's agenda is now with Newcastle United.
It seems like there's a concentrated press campaign to sell all of our best players. It's not just been Anthony Gordon. It's been Bruno. It's been Isaac. It's everyone that's got worth a few quid trying to get them out the door. It's either one of two things. It's either the press with some kind of grudge against Newcastle United, or it's the agents spreading rumours. It can only be one of those two things, because I don't think the club would be saying anything to the papers.
Yeah.
And I believe the Chronicle isn't actually owned by a Newcastle.
It's a London-based company now.
London-based company. So,
yeah.
Take that from what you will. It's not Fleet Street anymore. It's Wapping. Everything's different in the press world. Nobody buys the written press anymore. It's all done on social media.
Yeah.
And of course, to get things in, people to look at their social media stuff, they put clickbait in, basically, and that's all it is for me, clickbait.
Yep. Up the A1, thank you very much. Lovely family up the A1. Been members for 26 months now on the channel. Another milestone for us. Really enjoying the Euros commentary. TTR just gets better and better. Thank you very, very much. We've got a super chat in from Gary Clark. Thank you, Gary. I swear it doesn't matter if it's London, Manchester or Liverpool. Every media outlet to the south treat the Northeast as if they believe the harrowing of the North was a good idea left unfinished. I mean, Sam, look, the Chronicle for me, it's lost its credibility anyway now. It's a London-based company that own it, and from all I can read in the Chronicle now, it has changed so much since the days of you used to walk past Eldon Square and hear them going Ronnie Gill and all of that, and it's so different now. It is obviously, but it's lost its spark for certainly reporting on Newcastle United, as far as I can see.
Well, has it lost its spark or lost its integrity? I am really not happy. This is our local newspaper that's meant to represent the feeling of our fan base, of our community, of the shirt. And are we seeing that, or are we actually seeing selling out for clickbait and selling newspapers? It certainly looks one way to me, but time will always tell. But this isn't the first time that we've been seeing this kind of reporting happening, and I don't want to tarnish every reporter there with the same brush. I think that would be unfair to do so, but there are certain names who keep cropping up, who for me are stirring the pot, and it seems like it's for one reason only, you know, for a monetary gain, and to sort of turn the back on the club in that kind of way, I just think is absolutely shocking behaviour.
Yeah, I agree.
Traitorous.
Samsonite Dove has been a member for 22 months now. Some membership birthdays coming through today, definitely. Trevor says, you're my only form of information. I stopped reading everything else. We'll always be here. Paul says, can't see Gordon going anywhere. I think there would be a big outcry if he did go. Well, we've discussed this before about Gordon leaving, and if he does leave, as fans, there's nothing we can do about that. You know, it's. I don't know where Gordon's head will be in all of this. You know, you hear various reports saying, oh, his head's turned, and then other reports saying, no, his head hasn't been turned, but he was flattered by the Liverpool interest. What's he going to be like by the Manchester City interest? And again, this isn't just us as a channel saying, oh, we've seen it in the Chronicle. This is across the media board now. There is various reports of him. The Liverpool Echo are reporting on it. London World are reporting on it now. The Evening Standard in Manchester are reporting on it. So there is a lot of legitimate places now talking about Manchester City hijacking the deal for Anthony Gordon. And I mean, I don't know how they can say hijacking the deal because there's no deal there anyway. So, it's very strange how they talk about hijacking it. But it says, in a possible blow to Liverpool's ambitions in the transfer market, Manchester City reportedly entered the race to sign Newcastle United star Anthony Gordon. The Reds, who have a long-standing interest in Gordon, initiated discussions over a potential deal last month, but were put off by Newcastle's steep demands and an insistence on including Kwanzaa in part exchange. So they reckon that Newcastle is seeking for a package of around £100 million. But a new report has now suggested that Pep Guardiola is about to step into the race because he believes that Gordon could be the perfect replacement for Jack Grealish, who Pep doesn't see as a number one starter. He's got an uncertain future, as has Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva, according to the report. So Grealish and De Bruyne and Bernardo are all apparently looking at moves to Saudi Arabia. I mean, if they lost those three players in the whole window, Billy, I mean, they've lost a hell of a threesome there. But it is possible that they could go. De Bruyne is getting no younger. Grealish is very hit and miss, I think, and that's what frustrates Pep. And Bernardo Silva, I'd take him any day of the week at Newcastle, but it could be a possibility.
Well, Bernardo Silva to me is the only one that can't really be replaced. So if Grealish, you've got Doku there, De Bruyne, Foden, and of course you've got Bernardo Silva on that right hand side is fantastic for them. But then Pep Guardiola, how long is he going to be there? There's no actual guaranteed future at Man City for anybody, really. If you want to
didn't he say he was going to possibly have one more year at it?
One more season, yeah. So, you're going to play for Pep, but you're only going to be there for a year. I'm not sure why anyone would want to be Manchester City on that reason.
Yeah.
But I'll just go back to the press thing. I mean, years ago, how many people these days do you know say, well, I'm going around the shop to get myself a paper? Nobody does it. Yeah. So there's no such thing as a local paper these days.
I think a certain generation still do it, but the younger generation definitely not.
But the vast majority of people get the news digitally. You can read any local paper. There's no such thing as a local paper these days. No. And that's why different parts of the country print this crap off, to be honest. Yeah. It's just hits on the websites, basically.
It is, Billy, and I was just going to say something similar on that. Like, they're not selling an actual paper to get the monetary value off it. They're actually doing it via advertisements, because that's where they're getting it. All these rubbish little, pins that they get on there, and selling people absolute rubbish that they don't need. I mean, for me, taking everything with a pinch of salt in terms of transfer window time, it could absolutely have been a possibility, given the situation we were in with, the FFP rules at the time as well. Darren Eales himself said, like, was it last season, we could have to sell our star players. Everybody's a possibility for the right amount. I think as far as we're concerned, we made the right moves for our team there, and we delivered on that, which is great. Could Gordon have been a plan B? Potentially, maybe Bruno was and Isak was a plan B. Who knows? But that's what we have to say. And I think for me, Gordon's a smart lad. He's well read, very well adjusted, looks to very intelligent, successful people. I think if that itch needs to be scratched at some time, it's a possibility. But for now, I think he knows how highly he is thought of at this club and from Eddie. And we've also said, there was in the Rio Ferdinand interview, how much he admires Eddie. And look how much his game has developed with Eddie as well. Good enough to get him into the England squad, not enough to get him minutes, but good enough to get him to England, which was his dream. I can't see Gordon looking to move at this time.
Yeah, Ben Thompson, welcome to Members Club. Thank you for your support. Keith Dites, who's been a member for a massive 28 months now. Thank you, Keith. If you want what's in the media, it's like we're willing to sell Gordon, Isak, Bruno, and Almiron, Share, Trippier, Wilson, with no plans to replace them. I mean, look, there's a whole host. I mean, Trippier, I think that's still in the air for me. I think Trippier may be prepared to leave the club. I think Almiron is the one that they're trying to get out the door next, to create an opportunity for somebody else on that right-hand side to come in. I'm pretty convinced by that. Luke says, if he was going to go anywhere, I think it would be Liverpool. Everyone in football knows Man City are due to be deep shit, hence why players, staff, and soon-to-be Pep are jumping ship. Fubar says, if Gordon left for £100 million, I would want us to go for Eze to replace him. That's not a bad shout, actually. But listen, we are going to have to, I mean, it may be that there's going to be a huge auction here, and that might suit Newcastle, because, if there's 3 teams interested in Gordon and maybe a 4th or 5th from Europe come in, then there could be an auction for him, and Newcastle United can say, right, let's see what they're willing to offer. I mean, look, as far as I'm concerned, I go back to Man City and say, right, you can have Anthony Gordon, but we want Haaland plus 50 million. There you go. How does that sound? I mean, it'll never happen in a million years, but you know what I'm saying. Claire says, all the scouts City have, and yet it's always Newcastle players they want, according to the media. It's all Newcastle players. And apparently we're just a little club in the northeast, but seemingly everybody wants our players. Jan, thank you for your super chat. To be fair, I'd take 100 million plus now and get 2 top players in. No sweat. I mean, it's a lot of money, Sam. I mean, 100 million would get us some very, very good players. But I think if, again, from the fans' point of view, we want to build this. We want to see the squad being built with all these exciting players. And it's all right saying, oh, yeah, we'll bring players in. It's not that easy to replace the good ones that we have. We know what Gordon can do. And, we'd have to go out there and try and find another Anthony Gordon-esque player.
That's correct. And ultimately, my personal opinion is he's a versatile player who can switch it up. He can play on the right as well. His pace is remarkable, extremely hard to replicate in another player, as well as that sort of intelligent football mindset that he has as well. And I think he's got another level to go. And it may be tempting in the moment to say, right, well, we got him for, what was it, 40 million. If we get double that, then that's great. Yeah. But for me, he has another level. He's extremely intelligent. I absolutely want to see him stay at the club. Isak, Bruno, Gordon, they're my top players that we should be building our squad around.
Yep. Scott Penrose, thank you for your membership for 3 months. He says, thanks for everything you do, TTR. Thank you very much for that. How long are Man City going to be in the league for hashtag 115? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, are players jumping ship? I mean, is something around the corner that maybe De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva know about, and they want to get out of there before they suddenly maybe have to play in a lower league for a few years? I mean, listen, Billy, you mentioned it the other day. The punishment Rangers got in Scotland, they were demoted right down the leagues to the third division, weren't they? So it's possible, but something is still doubting in my head that they would do that to Manchester City, because if Man City weren't in the league, it would affect the Premier League revenue, wouldn't it? So that's all they're bothered about at the end of the day. Matty Davis, thank you for your membership for 16 months. We don't need to sell now, so it will have to be an offer too good to turn down. Gordon isn't going anywhere. It's just lazy journalism. I believe it's lazy journalism, and I believe that the other media outlets, Billy, have picked up on what the Chronicle have said and thought, "Oh, there's a story." So I'm still of the belief that this is smoke without fire.
I don't think it's lazy journalism. I think it's attacking journalism. It's offensive. It's trying to get Newcastle United. Again, same as what the Cartel 6. The press want the Cartel 6 to be headline news every day, each day, every day. And when Newcastle United are challenging that, that's they don't want that. They want Man United to be top of the list every day. It's offensive to me. It's attacking. They're deliberately attacking Newcastle United. As far as I can see, I don't think it's lazy. I think they're doing it on purpose.
Well, yeah, I mean, Claire makes a good point there, because they know that Newcastle United fans will click on links like this because it involves Newcastle star players. They did it with Bruno right at the start of the transfer window when, Bruno was continually linked with PSG, mainly PSG, it has to be said. Then they were reporting that Manchester City were coming in and Manchester City were actually going to hit the release clause. That never happened either. And Bruno now, there's been nothing about any club coming back in for Bruno now to make any sort of offer. Now the release clause is gone. They did it with Isak and the links with Arsenal, and now they're doing it with Gordon. And then, of course, other outlets are going to pick up on it because they will do exactly the same and think, right, this is a huge opportunity for us to get lots of clicks from Liverpool fans, from Manchester City fans, from Chelsea fans. And they will be doing exactly the same thing that the Chronicle are doing when it's, from my point of view, I think Newcastle United need to turn around and have a serious word with whoever's representing the Chronicle these days at Newcastle United and have stern words. Like the likes of, I think is Lee Ryder still part of it?
I think so.
I'm sure he's Chronicle. So, is it Lee Ryder coming out with these stories? And if so,
he's the one
why?
that put those stupid marks out of 10 after the games.
His ratings have always been dreadful.
Worse than ours.
Yeah. Dan Robinson, thank you for a super chat. TDR has 30,000 followers. We should all take to Twitter posting ITK stories about the cartel clubs. Imagine the outcry if they gain momentum. Yeah, I mean, look, I joked about that the other week that we should put something out and say, Haaland's set to leave Man City, or, Chelsea are going to lose Nkunku, or something dramatic like that. Because it's always Newcastle, Sam, and I was watching a few clips of Mario Balotelli this afternoon. Some of his goals he scored, and that one he scored at Old Trafford when he raised his shirt and says, "Why always me?" And us as Newcastle United fans can do the same. Why always us? Go and look at another club. Why do you think players are so eager to leave the Northeast? It's disrespectful, especially from a so-called Northeast newspaper, which it isn't these days.
Well, I think Billy's absolutely right. It's offensive and attacking, and considering you're meant to be one of us, representing, I think that makes it even worse, and it creates a domino effect, which the national newspapers get a hold of, other news outlets, other fan bases get a hold of these newses, and it makes it look entirely more credible because it's coming from within our own camp being the Chronicle.
Yep.
And I think that's why I'm particularly aggrieved by this, because this isn't, you know, other fan outlets who are you know, spouting these rumors or starting something. It's coming from within what was our own community that represented the, you know, the feeling of who we are as a fan base. So it's so disappointing to see these types of links. I would love to know sources and how credible these are, because we have seen in the past that things haven't come to fruition, and whether that's because deals fall through, which we know can happen. But it's really disappointing, and not to mention dangerous, because I don't doubt for a second that these types of links do get back to players. Given how Gordon's being treated at the moment in the England squad, could this get in his head? You know, does Darren, does Eddie need to give him a ring? Hey, don't know if you've heard this, but you are absolutely part of our. I would like to think so.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'd be very, very, very shocked if nobody from Newcastle United has spoken to Anthony Gordon since he's been away with England, when all this sort of crap is stirred up. Slothy says, "I wish the club would speak for once. I think Gordon will go." Well, the club don't have to really speak. I understand where you're coming from, Slothy, and I actually thought that a couple of weeks ago, that maybe the club should come out and make a statement that, you know, Anthony Gordon isn't for sale. But then it's the same old story. Every player has a price, whether we as fans like it or not. Every player does have a price, and if somebody was to come in with the right money for Anthony Gordon, then I think Newcastle United would sell. Because they could look at it and say, right, we're getting £100 million for him. We paid 40. So, you know, for FFP purposes as well, that gives us much more money to spend. So
yeah, but the thing is, if the club come out and commented on every poxy rumour that was in the press,
they'd be doing it all.
They would never show, would they? So
yeah.
It's basically just a rumour. What would the club want to commentate on that?
And equally so for me, within business, we can't paint ourselves into a corner. You know, U-turns happen, plans change. You know, if we were to come out and, you know, we don't want to be incongruent with whatever we do come out with in case plans change and then have to explain ourselves. You know, I think, again, like I've got a great deal of faith in the ownership and the business minds that are now behind the club. And I think this is just going to be a bit of a hangover that we need to get used to, that our ownership shrewdly keep the cards close to the chest, and that's the right decision for our club.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got another new member, Toon. Thank you very much, Toon, for signing up, and thank you for your support. NUFC, Ollie's been a member for 14 months. If Gordon leaves, he's in one of the most replaceable positions on the pitch. So much talent on the left wing. I don't want to see him go, though. Yeah, but there is a lot of talent, but it's also, we've seen it many times, that if Newcastle United come calling and teams know that we need a left winger, the prices for them to replace Gordon are going to be extortionate. And I really don't want that to happen. Right, it is time for the members draw, and as usual, we do have... obviously, this will be done by a hashtag again. So this is for the shirt, guys, and it's a brilliant prize. This is just for members, of course. So if you're not a member, please don't bother entering, because the mods will just knock your comment off anyway. And you can't win anyway, because if you came up as a winner, it would tell me if it's a member or not, and then we just redraw it. So it's pretty pointless if you're not a member to enter this. This is what you are entering for tonight. It is the old Essex Newcastle United McEwen's Lager. I mean, so many memories from that shirt. Absolutely incredible. And of course, signed by Terry McDermott and Kevin Keegan. It's something, it's a size 2XL. However, obviously something like this could be framed. It is one of those sort of brilliant pieces of memorabilia. And thanks again to Ben for sending it to me to give away as a prize. Much appreciate that, Ben. He put a lovely note in there with the shirt as well. So thank you for your kind words. Right. Now, what is the hashtag? Well, Sam, you can do this tonight. What is the hashtag tonight?
Gordon, of course.
Oh, there you go. Right. Don't put it in yet, because I haven't set the competition away. But the hashtag is going to be hashtag Gordon all lowercase. So that's hashtag Gordon members draw. It's now open. We'll leave that up for about 10, 15 minutes or so, and then we will make the draw, and someone is going to be a very lucky winner tonight. So hashtag Gordon, you have to be a member. I've already seen a couple of people trying the look. Give over. I mean, it's, never mind. The mods will take care of that. But even if the mods don't see it, as soon as the winner comes up, it tells me if they're if the genuine member or not. So I don't see the point of trying to cheat. But hashtag Gordon. Right, while that's going on, guys, another report has cropped up saying we are looking at possibly going back in for James Trafford. This one, I do not understand, but this has been reported by multiple outlets today, not just one or two. It has been said that Newcastle United are very, very interested in going back in and renegotiating terms with James Trafford. Of course, the first set of discussions that seemed to go on for a long, long time broke down. Davey Verse, thank you for gifting 5 Toon Review memberships. So if you are if you're lucky enough to receive a free membership, you are now in the draw. So hashtag Gordon, guys. Very good timing. But remember, members only, please. I don't get this one, Billy, because I've been scrolling through a lot of Newcastle United news today and seen that, there's various, I think it's the Wolves managers come out in praise for Chakademus and Pliers, who are now referred to as our second choice goalkeeper. He's come out and spoke very, very highly of him. But I don't get it. And Michael McIntyre and Anthony Ross, stop it. You're not members. Queen of Hearts has gifted 5 Toon Review memberships as well. So there you go. It'll pop up if you've got a membership. Get in the draw. I don't get this one, Billy, I have to say.
No, it doesn't make any sense. We've already got 4 keepers. Unless we're going to loan out Chakademus. I don't see it. I just don't see it personally. Mm-hmm. It's nonsense. I mean, why even say it when we've already got 4 goalkeepers? Why would we go after another one? Unless Nick Pope's can be sold. That's the only thing I can see.
Yeah. I mean, it seems to me, obviously John Ruddy, I think, is there, Sam, as a coaching option for Newcastle United. He's got a lot of experience, which he's bringing to the club, which I think having that kind of experience, what John Ruddy's been through in his footballing career is vital, especially to the youngsters coming through. So I really think that's going to be his role. But that would be 5 goalkeepers at the club. Sorry, would it be 6 or 5?
Oh, we have a buffet of keepers.
I mean, it's mental.
It really is. I mean, absolutely, I would absolutely have Trafford. 100%. I think he would be a great understudy for Pope, but I don't want to see Pope go. Odysseia, I think, was sort of in my mind, he's going to be the second now once the talks with Trafford seem to break down.
Yep.
Obviously, we talked about Ruddy in this coaching role, but why not hire him as a coach? Like, his job title infers that he's going to be goalkeeping. Like, I'd like to think that wasn't the case, and he could actually have a great deal of support, especially for the new academy that we're looking to build. So yeah, it's got me scratching my head a little bit there. I would not be angry at it, but it does make me raise questions about what we are looking to do with so many. And are we looking to offload, loan, or get them to coach?
Well, I think we're obviously offloading. I think Dubravka will be on his way.
Are we keeping Gillespie?
Yeah, well, Gillespie signed a year's extension. That one is as puzzling as it will ever come, especially if we do go for James Trafford. Then the extension of Gillespie is massively confusing to me. I don't see the point. I've got nothing against Mark Gillespie, but I do not see the point of paying him 10 grand a week to basically train every day. I mean,
put the cones out, collect the bibs, order the beers. Basically it.
Yeah. Definitely. Jens, thank you very much for your super chats. Evening all, amazing people. I just have one thing to say. Liverpool can go F off. They are one of the worst in the league. You know what I mean. We do. But listen, I mean, Dubravka's gone very quiet actually since they were knocked out of the Euros. Nobody seems to have got any sort of interview from him since he's left the international camp. Obviously, he's gone on holiday. But I think that really, Sam, I would have thought that the first thing Dubravka wanted to do was get in touch with his manager and find out what the hell's going on regarding his future.
He will have been on the phone straight away. I think he's not been shy about sharing his opinion on social media. Obviously, news got to him in the camp about, you know, us hiring additional keepers. Obviously, he's got question marks about the future of the club for him. We've obviously seen links to, I think it was Celtic, which I think would be a decent move for Dubs. But I would be disappointed if we hadn't already teed that up in the background to take place. So yeah, I don't expect to see Dubravka here next season.
Yeah,
I think Matty Davis has got it bang on.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that. He's basically said Paul Mitchell has just picked up the scouting reports, and it started with Trafford, so we are back there again. Yeah, Iropa, thank you for being a member for 9 months. Evening all. Those that want Gordon can go pound sand. Up the Toon review. Mods and chat. Thank you, mate. Yeah. Basically just get lost. Graham says, do remember when we ran out of keepers and had to play Anik, great debut versus Chelsea in the second half. Mind you, that was P45 due. Gillespie got world's best job. Yeah, but 5 goalkeepers? I mean, really? 5? I've never known us have 5 goalkeepers before. I remember when it was just Shea Given and Pav, or Pav and Shaka Hislop, or or Given and Harper. That was it. You didn't hear of any more goalkeepers. But hey, I mean, look, obviously they want to build everything now. Bob says, why would AG want to go to Man City when he is being shunned by their players in the England squad? Well, we don't know if he's been shunned by the players. I mean, that was just the fact that the players were gathered round, and I don't think Anthony Gordon really. I mean, he would have been perplexed last night as to why Eze came on ahead of him in Gordon's position when Gordon's been one of the players of the season on the left wing. So, listen, Gordon knows where his head is now, because with regards to England, because I don't know what the kid has to do to get a time on the pitch. But look, at the end of the day, we're in the semi-final now and we're still in the tournament. I'm sure questions may be asked afterwards, but while England is still in the tournament, Southgate can turn around and say, well, screw you, I've made the semi-final. So whatever we think as fans. Luke says, to be fair, do we ever know when someone's coming in? The club are very tight-lipped. Yeah, and look, that's something we need to concentrate on here, is because whether it be an outgoing or an income, and the club always keep their business very, very quiet. And that's why, all this, Billy, about Anthony Gordon, there's so much stuff in the media. The club haven't even said anything, and there's nothing moving forward very quickly with it. It's all these reports are saying is that clubs are interested, and that says to me that that's why it's clickbait for me from the likes of the Chronicle, etc., is because it just says they're interested. There's no firm offers coming for anybody, and if teams were surely serious about getting him, then we'd have seen an offer by now, because they wouldn't want to miss out on him.
Exactly. It's just basically journalists throwing shit at the wall, hoping some will stick. It's basically the press version of ITK, isn't it? Just coming out with nonsense rumours in the hope that one of them hits and they can say, I told you this. It's absolute nonsense. Take the notice.
I mean, it is. It's just stories made up from sudden fresh air, But look, the Trafford one, I don't quite get. I don't know why we need another goalkeeper. As far as I'm concerned, this guy from Nottingham Forest, from what I can see and what I've been reading about, players and managers saying what a good goalkeeper he is. Maybe we should be fine with him. But James Trafford is also very much for the future, even though he's played for Burnley. Obviously, he was dropped last season, but he was brilliant for England. The youth set up in England, he was brilliant for them. So, he's definitely one for the future. But again, why are we signing so many goalkeepers? I mean, it's mental. But then again, we might not be signing him. They do want £30 million for him, Sam, which I think is what Newcastle were put off in the first place for. But now, I don't know whether there's a negotiation to be had.
Yeah, well, can we sell goalkeepers that we've just bought? Is that an option at all? Because we could just flip them back on the market now that we've got Mitchell. But it's an interesting one for me. I think he would be a really good prospect for us. So I can imagine that we're maybe interested in taking a second look, but depending on how much money we have to spend, and nobody knows that but the club, obviously, do we really want to be diving that kitty when we've already got so many players that we need to buy and so many keepers? I'm not so sure.
I do think 30 million, though, Billy, is a bit excessive for Trafford. I understand why they're possibly trying to get him for that kind of money. He's an English goalkeeper. He's an international goalkeeper, but he's still very young and very raw. And I think that's why maybe Newcastle weren't keen to pay the £30 million. If there's a deal to be done, then obviously Newcastle feel like there might be a bit of wiggle room for Burnley with this one.
Yeah, 30 million is too much. I'm a fan of his, but 30 million for a keeper that, to all intents and purposes, got relegated last season. No, I don't think so. I know he's young. I know he's got lots and lots of potential to fill, and he will fill it because he's a fantastic young goalkeeper.
Yeah,
£30 million at this day and age, and at this time, absolutely not. I wouldn't want to pay 20. I'd 15 million. I'll be in it all day. No more than that.
Yeah, that's what we originally said, isn't it? Maybe 15 million. Fubar says, anyone else seen that Man United are going to sell Donny van der Beek for 500 grand to Girona? They bought him for £37.5 million. I would take him to us as a squad player for that price. Not for me. I understand what you mean, Fubar. For 500 grand, yes, it seems like very little money. But he's played no football for how many years now? He's been sitting on his arse. I think our targets are elsewhere. Certainly the position Van der Beek plays, we don't need another player there. And I know what you mean for squad depth, but the problem is with Eddie, he's not going to let the likes of Longstaff go now. He thinks the world of Longstaff, as he does Miley, although Miley's injured for a few months. I just couldn't see Van der Beek making a big impact at the club anyway. I think Van der Beek wants to go somewhere where he's going to get first-team football now, and he certainly wouldn't be guaranteed that at Newcastle. Gary, thank you for another super chat. Trafford could be loaned out immediately. Question would be where? I mean, that's not a bad shout. Get him on Newcastle United's books and loan him out for a season. Get his confidence back up and get him playing regular football.
Not for 30 million quid, though.
Yeah, not for that.
No. Unless Newcastle United feel that they could get a decent loan fee back for him to make up some of the money that they originally fork out. But I thought, that's crazy business for 30 million. If you ask me, it is a bit mental. A couple of minutes left on the draw, guys. So if you are a member, remember hashtag Gordon, all lowercase. Just put hashtag Gordon in the chat. You're entered in to win the Newcastle shirt. Signed by Kevin Keegan and Terry McDermott. You do obviously have to be a member, guys. So it's open for a couple of more minutes, and then we will do the draw to see who wins the shirt. Mark says, Trafford was very shaky when I saw him at Bournemouth last season. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it was, because he went to Burnley. He was full of confidence, Billy, after the fantastic tournament he had. And then just he let a couple of probably silly goals in, and then his confidence went to pot.
Yeah, well, he was overworked, let's be honest. I mean, company never got used to the idea of having to be streetwise in the Premier League, wanted to play the same style as you played in the Championship, which you can't do when you first come up. You've got to fight for your right to play the game, and they didn't. And they were poor defensively. Obviously, the more work he was doing, the more chance of making mistakes. And so it happened. And then in the end, his confidence went, and he got dropped, and they brought Muric in. But he's a good goalkeeper, definitely a good goalkeeper.
Just to be clear, you do have the right to party as well. Toon Man, thank you for gifting 5 Toon Review memberships. So if you have got those, get yourself in the draw. You've got about a minute left to get in there. And hashtag Gordon. Caretaker says, are they concerned about Pope injury-wise? Well, you've asked that question many times, Billy, and so have we as a channel. I guess, Sam, with the injuries had, it's got to be in the back of their minds. I mean, obviously they'll take a look at him in pre-season. They were happy for him to play the final game of the season as well. He's had it. He's had nasty operation. Really, is getting it all metalled up. But do you think that's in their thoughts?
I think it's got to be. I think we've got to look, critically and think worst case scenario when it does come to that type of injury that's, needed that type of surgery on it. I mean, he's not going to be easily able to get through airport security now. So if he falls on it and damages it again, that could be the career down the drain. So perhaps we're battening down the hatches for that reason. I don't think it's a bad idea, but I just think that the money for Trafford is just too much what's being requested at the moment. But the injury does concern me. Equally so, will the muscles around it be able to heal and perform as well as they once did? Again, we're not going to know until we see, but that has to be a consideration in this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I've got my jaw all wired up because of a nasty injury in ice hockey, and it does take the muscles, the nerves, all your whole body to recover. It's not just where the actual injury was; it's the fact that your whole body needs to do it as well. David says the Mrs. Newcastle United mug arrived in the post on Friday. Thanks, Paul. Better half is delighted. Thank you very much for letting me know. Right. Before we do the draw, just to remind you, the pinned at the top of the description is the link for the Football Content Awards 2024. We want to be there again. We want to be at the finals, and we want to try and come away with something this year. So even if you have voted, keep going back, clear your cookies and cache, and go back and do it again. Put all your details in, why you want why you're voting for the Toon review, but make sure you put us in the best club content creator - Premier League. So that's best club content creator - Premier League. Please go and vote for the Toon review, and hopefully we'll be back in the finals again later on in the year, but we can only get there with your help, so please do vote. Right, shall we do the draw? I mean, Billy, you couldn't be more enthusiastic if you tried.
We need like a drum roll thing.
No, we've got a little bit of
music.
music.
We have a drum roll.
Well, I mean, we've got a bit of music for the
for the countdown.
For the countdown, yeah.
Whatever.
But let me just share screen. Here we go. Where's the giveaway tool? There it is. Right. Is that on the screen?
Yep, it certainly is.
Right. So we have well over 200 entrants into the draw. Let's do this. Here we go. Who is going to win the Newcastle shirt? You will have 30 seconds to confirm you've won in the chat.
Biggest prize we ever give away, isn't it?
Yeah, that's huge. William Kane. William Kane, you are the winner. You now have 30 seconds till the music ends.
Least favorite name.
So let's wait for William Kane.
Come on, Billy, you can do it.
Come on, William. Well, there he is. He's there, William Kane. You've won the shirt, my friend. Congratulations. If you can send me an email, please, just with Newcastle shirt in the subject. And, of course, in the main part of the email, put your address, and I will get that out to you straight away, my friend. Congratulations. Make sure you do send me the email, though. The email address is halfway down the description somewhere. Just says business enquiries and then the email address. So if you can send me that, I will be very grateful, and I will get that to you immediately. So congratulations. Right, let's have a look. Cynical Jim's been a member for 17 months. Thank you very much for my signed pics, Paul. But do you want my aquarium? I'm going to have to pass, Jim. I'm nowhere near ready to get another, especially a 6-foot one, in the fish room. I haven't even started work on it yet, to be honest. It's very difficult to get that going. But thank you very, very much for the offer. I really do appreciate that. Peter Garthwaite, thank you for your super chat. Mitchell, to have total control on transfers. I'm not too sure about that. I really genuinely think, I don't know what you guys think of this, but I genuinely think that maybe, Sam, will come to you first, that Mitchell and Eddie Howe have been very much in cahoots for quite some time now before this announcement was even made.
100%. For me, I think this is going to be a collaboration and not a dictatorship. Eddie is not going to stand for being told what to do, and I think we've seen glimpses of maybe that happening with Dan Ashworth. I think this is absolutely going to be a peer-to-peer relationship, and rather than a leader taking charge of anything, despite anybody's experience or fabulous CV. You know, that he's going to want to work collaboratively with Eddie, and I think it'll be a great pairing. You know, they've both got a background as being players. I think they'll be fine working together personally.
Yeah. Billy?
Yeah, well, we've seen the discourse, what happened when, I mean, I'm only surmising this, but when the DOF and the manager didn't get on, and I don't think they did, personally. So it's got to be united front, and I think that'll work. It'll definitely work. I think we've got someone that's actually better football-wise than Mr. Ashford is.
Absolutely. Should we give another prize away? Should we do one?
Go on. Go on.
I've got another one of these to give away, which is the Newcastle United. I'm trying not to get the because obviously the green screen. It's the Newcastle United team, all signed before the PSG game. So we gave a couple of these away last week. This is for everybody. Why not? This is just for all our viewers tonight to get yourself entered into this. So, Billy, what would you like the hashtag to be?
The PSG game, it's got to be hashtag share.
Oh, people don't know how to spell Fabian Schär. Some people, Billy, I think it's a. So we just put hashtag PSG.
Yeah, PSG. Some people can't spell that on our channel.
That's send your complaints to Mr. Billy Trey, Coventry, postcode. Right, hashtag PSG. Get yourselves in, guys. Everybody can go in for this. Yeah, it's not hashtag share. It's hashtag PSG. It's a signed photo of the starting lineup for the PSG game. It's brilliant to put in a frame. A couple of people won that last week as well. Fabulous to put in a frame and on your wall for Newcastle memorabilia. Of course, what a game that was to remember. You know, the win at home to PSG. So this is for everybody. Hashtag PSG, and get yourself in the draw to win this. Now, finally, where do we think this week's going to take us, guys? I mean, look, rumors bound around all the time, but then it was great to wake up to the other morning when you suddenly go straight onto social media and you see Newcastle have made an announcement that they have a new sporting director. Are we maybe expecting anybody to come in? Or I mean, Billy, you're convinced that it might be after the Euros that we start to do this, but there has been players certainly linked who aren't at the Euros. And you know, they come back for pre-season very, very soon as well, don't they? So Eddie will want these players in quite quickly.
Yeah, I think the quicker the better. I think it will ramp up this week, but as we've said before, you can't go by the rumours because we kind of do things under the radar, don't we? And before you know it, there's a side. What? We've signed somebody.
Yeah.
Without any kind of a forethought. We'll see. But I think they will still. I think the rumours will certainly ramp up this week.
Yeah, I'm under no illusion that I'm going to get up tomorrow, and you know, there'll be a boatload of stuff to do for the morning news, no doubt. I've got to somehow pack as well. I am flying out of Newcastle Airport at 5 past 7 or 7:30 on Saturday morning. Susan's all packed. I am not. But
You've got me there for 5 then.
Yeah. It's a very early start Saturday morning, Billy. But I'm a morning bird. Me, I'm fine. Do you remember that old advert? You know, before they used to. Was it Weetabix or cornflakes when a big grizzly bear used to walk down the stairs, and as soon as they had the cereal, they were up and running. But hopefully the excitement gets them. Sam, you won't know what I'm talking about yet. You're still good enough.
I'm not so sure, but was it not Ready Breck? Was that Ready Breck with the bears?
It might be.
Ready Breck was the red line around the bike.
Yeah, it was the red glow. They tend to they would tend to bring that out in the winter, wouldn't they? So, yeah. Anyway, off on a tangent there as usual. Gary, thank you for another super chat. Unless I've missed something, every story claiming friction between Howe and what's his called? Billy, what's he called again? No, what did you call him the other day? Asquith or something.
Asquith, yeah, Asquith.
Trace back to the Chronicle. What a surprise. To be honest, Gary, I think there was friction there, because if you listen to Eddie Howe, whenever he was asked about Dan Ashworth, he was his facial expression changed. He didn't say much about the relationship or what they were like working together. So, Sue J, thank you for your super chat. Still celebrating the Paul Mitchell appointment after a very dispiriting June, hoping for Edison from Atalanta next. I think you're reaching a little bit far. However, you just never know. Tom says it could have been Frosties with Tony the Tiger. I think it was cornflakes or Weetabix. I'm not sure. I mean, who the hell cares anymore?
Weetabix was the skinheads, weren't it? Okay. The skinheads used to
Yes,
around.
It used to go the Weetabix.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, you have both lost us now.
No, Sam.
You've lost us.
I'm not. No,
what
get
you're
lost.
talking about.
You know exactly what we're talking about. Don't claim to be this young whippersnapper. You've been there, done that. Gary, thank you again for your super chat. Read it again. Not Ashworth, but Mitchell Chronicle claiming friction there. Really? Between Howe and Mitchell already? Fucking hell. Just burn it. Whenever you walk past the Chronicle, a stand selling the Chronicle, just burn it. Don't.
Yeah, let's not encourage that.
No.
But in other news with transfers, though, we're already seeing people come through. We've had, I believe, 3 new academy signings as well. We've got new signings who've also come into the women's team, which look really, really promising. We've had players from Durham. Salisbury's gone in the other direction as well, but I think Andrews. Hales, which is the Jamaican who's come in.
There's some very, very good players, and we will be covering that when we start up the women's Wednesday night show again, because there's some excellent players just signed, and it looks like they are going to be playing AC Milan women in the Cellar Cup, which is a fabulous fixture for them.
Wow.
Absolutely fantastic fixture. It's not official yet, but there's pretty much everybody's been speaking about it. Sorry, Billy, what did you say there?
I was quite hoping, that Lucy Bond was going to sign for the women's team. I just had a feeling coming towards the end of
the year.
And Fran Kirby, to be honest.
Fran Kirby as well. Hey, you never know. You never know. There may be, there may be some sign. I would think there's plenty more signings to come, to be honest, because they have released a few. So I think there's some very, very good players still to come. Paul Taylor, you have spammed #PSG numerous times, just to let you know that once you've made one, it doesn't count the rest of them. So you've wasted your time, mate.
But good effort.
Yeah, good effort, absolutely. But you've wasted your time typing PSG all that many times. Matt Hayes, thank you for your super chat. Got my signed photo through on Friday, so thanks for that, Paul. Gave it to my lad, and he's chuffed to bits. No problem at all, Matt. Thank you very much, and well done for winning. Keep hitting the like button, guys, and keep subscribing if you are new. If you're watching this on a rerun, please do subscribe if you're new and like what you see on the channel. However, please don't put any of the hashtags. Can't find the email link. It's down in the description, William. It just says business enquiries. Listen, it's pd.toonreview@gmail.com. pd.toonreview@gmail.com. So that's what you need to put in. It's a pretty straightforward email address, but it is in the description. Yes, Luke's disappointed that Alicia Lehman didn't come to Newcastle. She's, of course, signed for Juventus.
Strange that Douglas Luiz has gone there.
How strange was that? That's exactly what I thought. Very, very interesting move. Right, let's do the draw for the signed team photo from the PSG game. Where's my little giveaway? There you are. Right, okay. Can we see that?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. We've got over 300 entrants in this. Are you two entered into this, by the way, by any chance?
Heck yes.
I'm not. No.
I am. Hell we is.
Well, here we go. Let's see who wins this. And again, you've got 30 seconds to confirm you've won in the chat. Otherwise, it gets redrawn. And the winner is Paul James. Paul, James, you are the winner. So let's just get that music going again. So you have till the end of the music. Oh, it stopped.
Come on, Paul.
There he is. He's there. Paul James. Right, Paul. Well done, buddy. So if you can just email me, put PSG photo, and then in the email your address, and we will get that sent straight out to you. So well done. The email address is in the description, halfway down or near the bottom. Just take your time scrolling down, and you will find the email address. If you can get that to me as soon as you can, I will get that on the way. So well done, Paul. And that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you very much for joining us. Almost 1,700 in tonight on a Sunday night. That's incredible across 2 platforms. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for all your super chats and memberships and gifted memberships. And of course, thank you to the mods on doing a fine job during that crazy giveaway. But thank you as well to Billy and Sam. But thank you to you guys. You're incredible. Honestly, love doing these shows because you take part in the show. You give us your opinions. It's incredible. So thank you so much. We will be back with the 11:30 news in the morning. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, folks. Good night.
Away the lads and lasses.
Come back and check out some green.